Hi, welcome to this audio-visual presentation where I will be talking about two paradigms, consumerism and feminism. Feminism is the belief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities. Around the world, a lot of countries were dominated by male, and New Zealand was no stranger to a patriarchal society. Women were oppressed and did not have the same opportunities as men. In 1893, 19th of September, Lord Glasgow signed a new electoral act to allow women to vote, which made New Zealand the first country in the world to allow women to vote in politics. Becoming more aware of the workforce within New Zealand and the world, men still hold a lot of power. As a female tertiary student, I have become more aware of the inequality in pay, as I would soon become part of this. The Ministry for Women says in 1998 there was a 16.3% gap between men and women. Women were the ones who got paid less, but in 2015 the gap has now reduced to 11.8%. Female graduates are earning less than male graduates, despite having similar qualifications. It has taken 17 years to reduce the gap and only total of 4.5% difference. Feminism has come a long way in terms of fighting and obtaining women's equal rights. However, it is still an ongoing issue that women still do not have the same exact rights as men. Feminism has shown me that there is still inequality, but most importantly, that inequality is slowly dissolving. The New Zealand College of Midwives state that a midwife is someone who has successfully completed midwifery education and work alongside women in partnership to provide women with necessary care and advice. Midwifery is an old profession and has been practiced around the world. Midwifery history has changed a lot to shape modern-day midwifery. Midwives had to go by the medical models, mentions that pregnancy is potentially pathological process and that birth is the work of doctors, nurses, and midwives, and the woman is a patient. Feminists had fought for midwives to continue their practice, as a lot of them were women and were accused of witchery. The midwife model mentions that birth is a normal event and is part of a woman's life. Socially, a lot of people think that doctors would overrule any other health professional. Midwives work in partnership with women along with their family, but the medical model treats the woman as a patient. Feminism wants equality for women. Birth is part of life and it is a natural process, so the woman should not feel to be treated as a patient. Today, in midwifery, midwives work alongside women, giving them all the possible options, letting them choose what they would like to do, for example, birth at home. This allows women to be comfortable and in control of their situation. However, the medical model does not allow that. Women are not equal with the health professions, and this model will usually require women to birth in positions that are better for doctors or health professionals. The medical model is more controlling towards women, and they have less say and control in their pregnancy. Negative experience along with a controlled environment would make the woman feel ashamed of a natural process. Midwifery today, especially in New Zealand, would want women to feel in control and have positive experience. The definition of consumerism is the promotion of the consumer's interests, or the theory that an increasing consumption of goods is economically desirable. People who have used the health systems, whether it may be public or private, we are health consumers. Women who work in partnership with midwives are also health consumers. It is empowering as a consumer to know that you have the voice and power to potentially shape companies, products, and services. As particular brands become more popular and desirable, I would think, oh, I must buy this because it is a popular brand, or oh, it says that it's for babies. I need to buy all of this. Consumerism can also shape our wants and needs. For me, consumerism takes the idea of a desire and fuels it to make products more desirable. This is my idea of how consumerism shapes our wants and needs. Being a consumer, it allows us to give feedback on what we like from products and services and any improvements to be made. Just how midwifery is to work in partnership with women, women are also consumers who request their needs and giving feedback to help improve the partnership. Midwifery's history has been changing constantly and globally. New Zealand has had many changes in the consumerism of maternity services. Journal article Midwifery Education in New Zealand, Education Practice and Autonomy mentions that New Zealand midwives gradually lost their professional autonomy due to the increased obstetric interventions. This resulted in a decrease of home births. Midwives worked with women and was present for home births until the increased intervention. New Zealand then had to look overseas for maternity services. In 1953 to 1983, New Zealand feminists, also health consumers, who pushed for maternity services to return. Action groups like Parent Centre, Home Birth Association, and Save the Midwives began to rise. Women wanted midwives to return and help restore their control of childbirth. Home Birth Association first emerged from feminist women who were also consumers of the maternity service. Their goal was to provide home births and raise awareness to others and potential consumers. In early 1900s, America had a huge number of European immigrants who had midwives present at their birth, so medicalization and the attempt to discontinue midwifery practice was unsuccessful due to the power of consumerism and feminist activists. Since the 1990s in New Zealand, midwives today are now able to practice without waiting for a doctor's consent. Feminists and consumers around the world has impacted childbirth and midwifery immensely. To become a midwife, you must go through tertiary training and education to become a qualified midwife. Medical model interventions is still used when necessary, such as emergencies and more complicated pregnancies. However, childbirth and pregnancy is predominantly using the midwifery model. Take New Zealand for example of consumerism. Birth care is a primary maternity hospital for birthing and postnatal care. Birth care offers services for women and their families such as prepaid antenatal classes to gain knowledge and experience such as breastfeeding, focusing in labor, how to cope with labor, and positions to do in labor. Birth care also provide free care and education for mothers, their families, and newborn babies for things like breastfeeding help, teaching and techniques on how to bath newborns, changing diapers. They listen and cater to the woman's need. Waitakere Hospital also offer antenatal classes on breastfeeding, safe sleep classes for mothers-to-be. Midwives and other maternity services today are able to provide their services due to the movement of feminists fighting for equality for women and childbirth to belong to women and consumers pushing for the return of midwives and the care of partnership they offer. Thank you for watching.